I pulled an all-nighter for no good reason other than I was able to pull those 4 wires out of, it's a very simple job. I pulled a couple wires out of the back of a dashboard that's sitting in the middle of the floor. That took 8 hours. It didn't. If today's video sucks, that's Jared's fault. That is totally not my fault at all. totally
How's that my fault?
It is Jared's fault. Anyway guys, the point of the video today is a very important one, and I'm definitely not taking it as seriously as I should be. But the fact is, this whole rear of the car needs to come down. Why, you might ask? Because of these two guys right here, Mr. Ring and Mr. Pinion. Why the hell somebody invented the word pinion is beyond me. But ring makes pretty much sense. It's a fucking ring. The pinion, I've never pinioned in my life, but this thing sure does, and it pinions on an angle like that. Of course, this is all hidden inside of a Getrag rear differential, which is actually called, I think it's called on this car, transaxle. It's basically a rear diff, or a third member. All these different names that probably fail you out of an ASE certification. In this case, we all know what we're talking about. This is a ratio of a 4.11. For every time that the engine spins, the wheels spin. I should take that back. Be careful, because somebody's gonna roast me in the comments, which actually is let you roast me, because that means more engagement and the video gets more views. That whatever comes out of the transmission spins 4 times, and the wheels spin 1. So for every 4, 1, and because this engine spins at such a high RPM, that makes the rear much more usable on a rotary engine. Those need to go in that part. They're soaked in oil right now. Good old gear oil, I think. The problem is, the ring, hey, that's easy. This thing bolts on. Guys, look at this. Guys, look at, guys. Bolts, fucking threads. These thread this thing on easy enough. And then, you know what this is? I thought it was a parking brake. As dumb as I sound, guess what, guys? You're allowed to be dumb, especially on my channel. That's not a parking brake. That's actually a... I had to look it up. It's like, why is there... This thing's got like a studded neck choker. Like, you could wear this as a goth kid at Hot Topic. These are meant for wheel speed sensors, but they're not wheel speed. They're axle speed, which I assume... because this was meant for the Corvette, I assume that this actually updates the correct speed of your speedometer. Because think about it, you change the rear differential, this is slowing the car down by about 20%, almost exactly. Because that's a 3.42, this is 4.1, quick math, it's 20% slower, meaning you can go 20% higher on the RPM range with the same wheel speed. So I'm assuming that that's calibrated for the correct Corvette, otherwise we're all screwed and everything's gonna end. We'll just have to wait till the apocalypse. Look at this notch taken out of there. I'll be honest, I was like, oh shit, these guys screwed me over. This Rhino gear, or whatever, it's an animal gear. Yukon, they have animals on their thing, kind of dumb. These guys, I paid full price, so I'm allowed to call their mascot Dahm. But they did not sell me an incorrect product. This is actually meant to, you hammer the nut that goes on this, you kind of hammer it in so it locks in there. You're gonna need 300 foot-pounds of torque to both take off and put back on that gear or that ring. This is gonna be the hard part for now. We are actually getting in a welder to be able to make custom tools, because this is gonna require several very expensive tools. That, not so much, those are bolts. But this, look at this, there's a 26, I think, 26, 27 spline. You actually have to hold this in place, and then you have to be able to put 300 foot-pounds of torque onto what looks like a nut out here, but guess what, guys? There's no flat ends on this nut. It actually ends up being 6 holes on the side, like a key. Like you have a 6-hole key like this, and then you have to jerk it off. You have to take it off from there. So we're gonna end up making our own tools, one out of like a old transmission and then the other piece custom, to be able to get this thing in and out. Above all that, we have to measure and deal with backlash and all this other sort of crap. We'll deal with it as we go, because talking about it is boring as hell. What we do have to do is get the rear off of here. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. What's really funny about this, and I'm a little livid, I'll be honest, I'm a little livid, not from any of you guys. You guys, I love being roasted by you guys, but you know those guys on the internet, they're just kind of like miserable, and then they try and miserable on you. It happens all the time, you get used to it. It's actually kind of funny. But one guy today was like, does Rob Dahm ever finish any of his projects? Can't stand that guy. I understand the can't stand me part. I can't stand me either. I have to look at myself in the mirror. But from his perspective, is the project ever done? Hey, guess what, bitch? These projects pay for everything. That's the whole point of this. They're never done because the channel would be done. I would close the channel if the project was done. Holy Holy shit.
Bitch.
Yeah. Bitch. Is it done? Hey, guess what? It's the only running rotary Corvette in the world right now. C5, I guess if you want to be specific, if you want to count the Aerovet thing. It's allowed to be whatever state it is in right now because nobody else has done it, so I've kind of got first place. So anyway, we actually drove this car all the way out to Vegas and back and then over to Colette's thing. All 4 wheels were bolted back on without any sort of alignment made, so taking this whole rear off isn't gonna bother me because it wasn't aligned to begin with. We're gonna take the 4 subframe bolts out. We're gonna leave the exhaust on because the exhaust goes up and over the axles. Take the 4 main bolts out, take the wheels off, take the ABS brake crap off, drop the whole thing, and then just stare at the rear diff. One for this side. Oh man, I'm professional. And since it's the rear wheels, I'm not too worried about leaving it on the ground to use the pneumatic wrench because the drive shafts will keep the wheel from spinning, so we can take the tire off. Oh, you can start to see the rear plate of the diff already. Jared's not because he's gonna complain that camera's not a full frame camera.
Dude, this camera's not a full frame camera. I can't see shit.
Yeah, I called it. I fucking called it. I knew you were gonna say that. You know what sucks about your ask earlier?
What?
It was a good intention. You said, "Hey, can we put the parking brake on?" Do you know what the problem is with that?
No. What is that problem, Robert?
Jeremiah. The problem here is what wheels does the parking brake affect?
The rear wheels, Rob. Okay, I wasn't thinking.
You know what we're gonna do? Because we don't want Chris Fix crying if he catches wind of this video. The rear can't do that. Okay, I was gonna say, like, no way. Oh, dude, hang on. My hands are about to get really dirty. Guess what I've got? Oh, yeah. Check this out, Jarrett. Look at this. Oh my God. This is heaven. And for anybody that thinks to call these bitch mittens, you are sadly mistaken. These are so amazing, and the only reason I don't use gloves more often is because I don't have them. Now I have them. I did off camera. Look at the variety of these, and look at this. That lets you wipe sweat. That lets you wipe off your goggles or whatever. Real leather. It's used for probably touch phones. We've got Batman wannabe. But then these are just tried and true basics. We got tons of those, which I use a lot already. And you know how I got these? These guys saw me, oddly enough, at SEMA, unrelated to them, unrelated to social media. I was just a guy at SEMA and saw a company giving away gloves, and then I happened to pull apart my briefcase or suitcase and use them in a video, and they were watching and said, "Hey, we love that you're using our product. We'd love to talk to you more." And they sent me a box of gold. This is probably my favorite pair, and Jared's gonna test these for us. These are A5 cut resistant, performance level, ANSI ISEA 105 2016. Okay, Jared, you're gonna put this glove on. Don't make eye contact with me.
Rob, you didn't put it on all the way. I'm ready.
We're just gonna, I don't, it's not my hand.
Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh shit.
Okay, okay.
Ah!
Just spewing blood.
What? Oh man. Oh shit.
That's what the noise was.
Holy shit.
Oh. I called it, but I didn't think. I remember. Oh my God! I remember us doing this. We were swapping sides, and I remember going, "Okay, I'll just find that bolt." I never found that bolt. I know where the bolt's at now, but oh my God! Oh, you guys, we drove all the way to Vegas and back, like this. We heard it briefly on the way back from Colette's event. Didn't think anything of it, but like I told Jarrett, is that this is worse than the worst case scenario I was saying in the car, but I was saying that, you know, basically the power being applied is going to kind of wedge everything in place, and that's exactly what happened. It could, you know, power's trying to do this, and so everything just kind of stays in the same spot. Not that that's a good thing. I'm just saying, holy crap! We live to fight another day, Jarrett.
I welcome death.
Yeah. Could you imagine we just crash in the middle of the desert? No other cars, nothing. How'd they die? I don't know. We literally had no time to do like double checks or anything. I'm actually not proud of this. I'm fascinated, not gonna lie. But it's not a level of proud. Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Okay, so, well, needless to say, our setup on both sides was equally screwed. The axles have to come off the diff, obviously, to work on the diff, but we can take them off of that side, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, let's get all these bolts off and we'll start pulling it down. There we go, this side's loose. Ready for the other side. There we are. Okay, so both sides are down. Now it's time to hit these bolts. Old Faithfuls. And one more. And there we go. That was super uneventful because I planned ahead. A little too accessible. And this is down. So we should be able to bring the whole thing down just a little bit. There you see the back of the rear differential or transaxle. That's our target.
It literally looks like a target.
It does. Looking at all of this is a new setup for me. The transmission really never ends. It connects directly to the rear differential, so I'm sure that's why they changed it up in name, nomenclature, if you will, is rear transaxle or whatever other name they come up with. It's because it doesn't really have an input shaft that's outside. It's inside and it's connected to the transmission. So my best guess is separating the two right here. It's gonna be the least mess. That gives the whole rear ability at this point, other than this e-brake. We'll probably have to pull the e-brake off. Other than pulling the e-brake off, cutting up between the transmission and the rear diff gives us a clean brake from there on. Okay. That's one of the e-brake pieces with its little collar that you have to push all three sides in on. We had to release the e-brake to do that one. Now we don't have an e-brake, which wasn't going to help us with the tires off anyway. Okay, there we go. That one's out as well, so now we don't have to worry about those getting in the way. I think this really made it easy to see how to take this rear diff off. That's the only thing. Once we take the rear diff off, disconnect that part of the wiring harness, that's it. I was optimistic that there was like a master break in the wiring harness for just taking the rear diff off, but nope, Jarrett was right.
Say that louder for people in the back.
Jarrett thought that this whole wiring harness...
I was right, bitch. That's what you said.
Dude, don't yell at me, why are you yelling at me? I'm never that mean to you. I never call you names. Loose that easy. So it seems like there's only 4 so far that I can find.
4 bolts.
4 bolts. I'm sure I'm missing 1.
So the 2 on the other side are the exact same?
Should be, yeah. I'm assuming there's gonna be a top or a bottom or something like that. So this crack right here, Jarrett, I expect it to crack along that crack, okay? Good, because nothing's about to happen. Well, it was a good run. At least we tried.
Yeah, good video. Wrap it up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching. Remember to subscribe to see more incomplete videos like this. For those of you that actually own C5s or want to own C5s, there is a 5th button. There's a 5th nut right there. One of those 15 mils. It's up and inside, hidden right there. That's our problem. Now it's no longer a problem. There we go. Look at that. Just straightforward, Jarrett. That's why I stopped monkeying with it.
It just separates, just opens.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be gentle because I'm not gonna start sticking foreign shit inside there because there's an O-ring, which clearly is meant to keep contaminants out of both sides.
Seems to open a little easier when you take it out to dinner and.
What do you know about that? I am gonna pick this up over the exhaust just to prevent it from being so wild. All of the brake lines out of the way, and we're left with a subframe. I don't care about you. Just letting you know right now, brake line. That. A weight thing here that doesn't connect to anything. Look at that.
Interesting.
Certainly connects on the bottom. So is this like a weight balancer? Okay. Oh, Jarrett. Oh, Jarrett. I see something familiar.
Oh, man. Let's get that fucker out.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to dig into that. We're going to take a look at 130,000 miles of abuse on a Corvette C5 rear diff in the next video.